Hello, everyone in attendance and those watching back home around the world. I am Mitch Chilson, and welcome to the Singapore Indoor Stadium for the official press conference for One on Prime Video for Abbasov versus Lee. Since the launch of One on Prime Video in August, One Championship and Prime Video have ignited the martial arts world with monthly events streaming live in the US and Canada. Fans have been treated to the world's greatest action across mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, kickboxing, and submission grappling. And One on Prime Video 4 will be no different, with a pair of world champion versus world champion super fights that will be headlining the card. So, without further ado, let me introduce to you some of the athletes that will be competing this Friday night inside the circle. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Sambo world champion, Maria Molchanova. The Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Danielle Kelly. The number 5 ranked bantamweight contender. Please put your hands together for Stefan Lohman. And his opponent, the former One bantamweight world champion, the Flash, Bibiano Fernandez. In the co-main event, world champion versus world champion, please put your hands together for the one strawweight Muay Thai world champion, Joseph Lasiri. And his opponent, the reigning, defending, undisputed one flyweight Muay Thai world champion, the Iron Man, Rodtang Jitmongnon. And the two superstars that will be headlining this extraordinary event on Friday night. Please welcome the current one lightweight world champion, the Warrior, Christian Lee. And his opponent, the reigning, defending, two-time one welterweight world champion. Please make some noise for Cameron Abbasov. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome to the stage the CEO of One Championship, Mr. Chatri Sidyoton.
You know, I just got back from a trip around the world, 40 days, literally all over the world, Asia, Middle East, Europe, the States. And I'm never been this fired up. The one brand across the entire planet. I met with fans, I met with agencies, I met with broadcast partners, athletes, the whole entire ecosystem of One. And it really, really, really inspires me that One is now on fire. You know, just this year, we announced a deal with Amazon for live events in America, Globo, which is the largest broadcaster in Brazil, but also in Latin America, and Bein Sports, which is the largest sports broadcaster in the Middle East. And I can tell you that we're working on some unbelievable deals as we speak right now. But without further ado, One on Prime Video 4, electrifying the world's greatest martial artists in the home of martial arts, getting ready to throw down prime time in America for American fans, I'm telling you, you're in for a massive treat as you guys get to understand the platform that one is, the world's largest martial arts organization. But we have over 170 of our athletes who've already won world titles at the highest levels in the world across various disciplines. That's the highest percentage of world championship athletes, absolute and percentage-wise, of any organization in the world. We also have the highest finish rate, 70% finish rate. Why is that? It's a combination of not only finding the world's greatest martial arts on the planet, but we look for that killer instincts. We call it gameness. We want people to come in, our athletes to come in with a desire to finish, whether it's a KO or submission. And we've been very fortunate to find the greatest. Every year, our scouts around the world, we look at 10,000 athletes of the world's best potential athletes who can be superstars. We give out about 50 offers a year, an invitation onto the world's largest martial arts organization. This Saturday, Singapore time, this Friday night, prime time for Eastern Standard Time, an unbelievable card. At the top of the card, we have Christian Lee, lightweight world champion, one of the greatest pound-for-pound athletes on the planet, trying to become a champ and fulfill a childhood dream of his, going against Abbasov, very, very dangerous world champion, our welterweight world champion. This is going to be an absolute barn burner of styles. Can the smaller man, Christian, take on the bigger, stronger, heavier-handed opponent in Cameron? A lot is at stake here. We also have Rot Tang, probably, arguably, the biggest Muay Thai global superstar today, actually in history, ever to come out of Thailand. He'll be defending his title against Joseph Lasiri from Italy, who is vying to become a champ in his own right, and will face the toughest fight of his life. The card is stacked. I mean stacked from bottom to top. But also I want to showcase Bibiano and Stephen Lohman. Bibiano obviously is one of the greatest world champions in the sport of mixed martial arts, full stop. The Flash, one of the greatest jiu-jitsu world champions as well, and has fought all over the world against the very, very best. But in Stephen Lohman, we have a rising star. He was the Brave CF champion, trying to make his mark here as a number 5 contender. It is a young lion against a veteran lion. Does Bibiano have what it takes to go for another title run? And can he stop the young lion? Or is this Stephen Lohman's time? Then, of course, we have Maria against Danielle. Another clash of world champions from the Sambo side and the world's best in terms of jiu-jitsu side in Daniel Kelly, the black belt phenom from the United States. I predict literally all these fights are not going the distance. They're all going to end by a finish, dramatic finish. So without further ado, let's open up to questions for our athletes.
Hi guys, yeah, my name is Benjamin. Just a question for Chatri. Yeah, I just got a question that recently in one championship there are a lot of fighters moving up weight classes up and down, fighting for the second belt. Just like Angela Lee, she was from the enterweight division and she moved up to fight for the strawweight world champion. Rainier De Reader, she used to be the middleweight champion. He was the middleweight champion and he moved up to fight for the light heavyweight champion and he became the light heavyweight champion. He became a double champ status and now we have Christian Lee arguably fighting for the second belt again in welterweight and potentially becoming a double champ status. So I feel that with all these fighters moving up and down the weight classes, fighting for the second belt, I felt that like there isn't a lot of competition for them in their weight class, in their original weight classes. But don't get me wrong, and I think they are highly respectable for moving up weight classes, fighting for a second belt, and looking for a new challenge. But I felt that with all this moving up of weight classes, up and down, fighting for a second belt, I felt that there isn't a lot of competition for them in their original weight classes. Do you feel like that is the case for you, sir?
Well, first of all, one thing is, at one, we're constantly signing the very, very best athletes in the world. So even if you're a world champion, in one, you can't take it for granted and rest on your laurels. At the same time, though, you know, these were kind of building, meaning that the athletes themselves wanted to test. I don't think Christian Lee is done at the lightweight division. There are some very, very dangerous folks we've signed. But he wants another new challenge just to test himself as a martial artist. When you look at Renier de Ridder, same thing. You have Anatoly now coming down a weight class to challenge for the light heavyweight title in Manila. You know, we try our best to create opportunities for all of our athletes to create their own legacies. So you have Roberto Soldic, you know, the 2-division world champion from KSW, debuting against Murad Ramazanov, undefeated Dagestani, who's now considered in Russia the best middleweight wrestler. So, you know, there's always new stories that are happening, new signings, and we're constantly upgrading our roster. Even though we have the best roster on the planet, the best world championship roster, we're constantly upgrading it. So I don't think you can say that any of our champions have cleaned out their divisions yet. At least in my opinion, they haven't. Have they been dominant? Yes, we have some dominant champions. But I think it just makes for interesting storylines when you have, for the fans all over the world, when you have an intrigue factor of, let's say, a very young, aggressive, smaller man like Christian going against a very strong, tough, you know, world-class champion. So I think, again, it just makes for intriguing matchups. And again, we want to be able to create original legacies for our athletes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir.
Yep.
Hi, Christian. I have a question for you. What motivates you to come back for more of the action, and what's going to be different between this match and the match you had the previous time?
For me, you know, I'm very motivated for this fight. The opportunity itself is just such a big moment for me in my career. And, you know, although I just fought here in Singapore recently, reclaiming my lightweight world title, this is just such a big opportunity for any fighter to get. And so I'm more than happy to step up to the welterweight division. And, you know, I'm thankful for the opportunity. So I'm really looking forward to this fight.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I'm Tim from Philippines. I have a question from the champion Abbasov. Christian Lee has been dominant at lightweight and featherweight before that. Do you think he's big and strong enough to fight with the best at welterweight?
Кристиан Ли довольно долго уже доминирует One. Что делает его таким опасным, и как ты планируешь его победить?
Я не раз говорил, что Кристиан Ли хороший боец, хороший человек, но ему надо оставаться в своем дивизионе.
I always said this before. I think Christian Lee is a good person and a good fighter, but I believe he should stay in his lane.
Hey, Chatri.
Yes. Hey, Nick.
Excited to be back in Singapore, I'm sure, but there's a very heavy Japanese presence on the card. I heard there were rumors it might be in Japan this card before it got back in Singapore. Do you have any update when maybe One Championship will return to Japan?
100% next year. You know, I just looked at the calendar for 2023. You know, we'll be having our first couple of, at a minimum, a couple of U.S. events. Japan is on there, and a bunch of other new countries and some expected countries. We'll be announcing our new schedule, 2023 schedule, in the coming weeks. So you get a flavor of that. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, we had to move our event from Tokyo to Singapore. This event. Just because at the time when we went to go fly to Japan, this was about several weeks ago. The country was still shut down, so we didn't feel comfortable that we could pull it off to our standard.
Hi, for Bibiano, as Chatri mentioned earlier, One Championship has partnered with Globo as one of the OG superstars from Brazil. In One Championship. How exciting is this news for you?
Is it work? Yeah, I'm very excited for One Championship in global right now. Like everybody beginning to talk about, it's big in Brazil, not in Brazil, but all South America too. And I'm very excited to one day go maybe fight in Brazil too. I'm very happy. And congratulations for One Championship. One Championship did a great job. Chachi did a great job. Everybody here. And yeah, it's the global right now is one championship keep grow, the beginning until now. I say in the past, and I will keep say one championship is no limit. You will keep it grow for many years.
Thank you.
Of course.
Good evening, Mr. Chatri and athletes. This question is for Joseph Lasiri. You said you wanted to make Rod Tang angry. So how are you planning to do that?
Because of my face. Look, my face. It's too beautiful, my face. He'll be angry for sure.
Good evening, Chatri. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ashley from the Philippines. I want to throw this question to Mr. Stephen Lumen. Hi, Stephen. Good evening. For this Saturday's fight, how do you feel like fighting for a legend like Bibiano Fernandez, considering he's a champion way back then? And do you think or do you feel like his skills are still the same as he was before?
Good evening. I think he wants a win in this fight. I think he still want to fight to win. But I trained for this fight. I prepared a lot for him, and he's not that easy. He's a legend in this sport, and this is a chance for me. When I got the win, this will move me up to the title. So I'm just gonna be prepared, and we'll see in the fight.
One follow-up question. There were rumors circulating that about how Team Lakai's sparring session was so intense. So, leading up to your Saturday's fight, can you tell us briefly what was the atmosphere like recently in your camp?
Yeah, my teammates are hungrier. They're pushing us fighter who have fights, so they push us to us limits. So we are also giving our best 100%. Even though we are tired, they still push us, and I'm very thankful for them.
Hey, what's up, guys? Tom Taylor with South China Morning Post here. I want to start with a question for Chatri. Chatri, you're 3 events into this Prime Video deal now. The 4th, of course, just around the corner. As you know, I'm from Canada. I've been enjoying watching these on the other side of the world. But how satisfied are you with the 3 events so far?
Well, I recently spoke at the World Congress of Sports, which is the largest sports media conference, business conference in America. And Marie Donahue, the global head of sports for Amazon, came out and said that literally her exact words were, the partnership has blown away her numbers. I think like it's just the very beginning. I have much bigger ambitions in terms of our numbers, in terms of our viewership, and it's just the beginning. When we entered China 5 years ago in earnest, we were nowhere on the map. And our last 2 events literally trended #1 topic in social media, Weibo, Kuaishou, Douyin, and we blew out numbers. And actually, we're now the biggest martial arts organization in China as well in terms of viewership numbers. And I foresee that happening again in the U.S. And so until we're #1 in the U.S., I won't rest, my team won't rest, and our athletes won't rest. I really want to showcase, these are the very best martial artists on the planet. World championship strikers, the greatest grapplers. You have names like in the striking division like Rod Tang or Joseph Lasiri or Super Bon or Chingiz Abbasov. Literally the greatest names in the history of the sport. Then you have grappling, Cade Ruotolo, Tai Ruotolo, literally the hottest grapplers, Mikey Musumeci. You have Bushesha. These are literally the greatest grapplers on the planet. Same thing for mixed martial arts. You have Christian Lee, you have Demetrius Johnson, you have just, the list goes on and on. And I think American fans, I really want, and Canadian fans, I really want people to understand and see what they've been missing, why we've been blowing up numbers all over the world, especially on this side of the world. So we won't rest until we're #1 in the U.S.
And another one for you. You mentioned the submission grappling. You've, of course, crowned some champions in submission grappling recently with Cade and Mikey. You've got 2 excellent submission grapplers on either side of the stage here. Any plans to introduce a title in the women's atomweight division? 100%. When we first signed Danielle, I saw a lot of potential in her. I mean, obviously, she's a legit, unbelievable phenom with killer instincts, but I think she's just starting. I really believe that she's, the first fight she had literally inspired her, so she's probably training even harder than before and upgrading her skills constantly. But I would not write off Maria. She's a 4-time Sambo world champion, literally one of the greatest Sambo world champions ever to walk the earth.
She is very, very dangerous with submissions everywhere. And we kind of like this. We kind of like putting different styles up against each other and seeing what comes out of it. Now, Cade had a very tough fight against Iwali. You know, it ended in submission, but the first few exchanges were really, really rough and tough. I mean, you could just see it, right? And he's obviously, Cade is obviously the current ADCC world champion, current lightweight world champion. And this is, again, just the beginning. Just the beginning. We want the greatest martial artists on the planet, which we already have, coming in and finishing fights the way Cade and Ty have, and you'll see every discipline.
And then just a quick follow-up from Danielle, if it's possible. We spoke a little bit yesterday about potential, a title being introduced in your weight class. You just heard it from the man himself that there's, plans for that in the wings. Obviously, you have a tough fight to get through first, but, how exciting is that for you to hear that there's, plans for a title in this weight class?
It's pretty exciting. I've been working very hard since my last bout, so I have a lot to prove, and I want to put it out there.
Awesome. I'll stop hogging the mic. Thank you, guys.
Hi, this is for Mr. Christian Lee. My name is Christian. I'm from the United States. And my question to you is, you currently have the most finishes and KOs in one history. And so do you predict that you're going to get the finish in this next fight? And if so, how fast do you think you're going to be able to do that?
I absolutely plan on finishing this fight. In no way am I looking past Abbasov. I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's a great fighter. But every time I step into the ring, I'm looking to finish my opponent as quickly as I can. So I'm ready to go all 5, but I plan on getting it done within 3.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, guys. So my question is for Maria. For the fans who are new to submission grappling, how would you describe your style? And also, what age do you have over Danielle?
Для фанатов, которые плохо знакомы с грэпплингом, как вы описали свой стиль грэпплинга?
Я даже, честно, не могу ответить на этот вопрос, потому что самбо и грэпплинг — это 2 разных вида спорта и разная специфика, но у нас есть тоже борьба в партере, так скажем, борьба лежа, поэтому самбо, грэпплинг.
I can't answer this question exactly because sambo and grappling are 2 different sports and techniques. They have different specifications, and we are also doing the parter preparations and parter practices. So that is my answer.
Question for Roteng. After the fight with Joseph Lasiri, if you beat him, do you think you could have a potential super fight against Nong O?
ค่ะคำถามสำหรับคุณรถถังนะคะก็คือคำถามสำหรับคุณรถถังนะคะไฟล์ล่าสุดที่เห็นที่โจเซฟลาซิลีต่อยเนี่ยนะคะคิดว่าครั้งต่อไปที่จะขึ้นชกเนี่ยค่ะจะต่อสู้กับคู่ต่อสู้คนต่อไปได้ไหมคะ
ก็สำหรับเขาเหรอครับ
Sorry, can I have the
ไม่เขาอยากถามว่าถังอยากชกกับโอเปล่าไปขึ้นเวทแล้วชกกับเขา
ก็ผมยังทำเวทนี้ได้อยู่ผมก็อยากไปให้สุดก่อนครับก็ส่วนปรับน้ำหนักอีกครั้งหนึ่งก็ต้องรอดูอนาคตครับเมื่อมันถึงเวลาก็กีฬามวยครับเจอกันได้หมดครับผม
Yes, he really want to fight with Nong O, and he need to really up skill and his weight to meet up with Nong O.
Sorry, he did not say he want to fight Nong O. He said that he wants to stay in his division and continue to fight until he's satisfied with his division. And he said he'll think about moving up weight class then. So he did not say he wants to fight Nong O.
Good evening, everyone. Each one of you are inspiration to me as a martial artist and also to my baby son, so thank you for that. My name is Felicia, and my question is for Mr. Chatri. One has 7 values: integrity, humility, honor, respect, courage, discipline, and compassion. If you had to pick one, which one would you pick and why?
You know, I read a really interesting quote the other day that courage is the mother of all values, because without courage, you cannot live those values, right? So I think that is a very profound statement, that if you have courage and you are truly courageous, then you will live your life with honor and humility and integrity, etc. And you will not sway with the wind at every temptation or at every potential downfall you have as an athlete or as a fan or as a person, a human being. So for me, I think that really resonated with me. Courage is the mother of all values. If you don't have courage, you're going to be a wimp when it comes to choosing the right path or the wrong path, or being humble or being arrogant, or whatever thing throws your life your way. So for me, it would be courage.
Hi, hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Shari from Philippines. This question is for Joseph Lazari. A few years ago, you had lost 4 in a row and were probably close to being cut. Now, you're world champion and could become a double champ. What were the big changes that you got to this point?
Here we go again. So now I have my opportunity to knock the door to the flyweight division, come back in the flyweight division, and have the best fight with directly with the champion. So I'm so excited for this. This is a big challenge. So like we said before, no, life is a challenge. So I'm glad to have this challenge for be better and better and show my people, show the personality. I'm too excited for this fight against Rotang.
Hi, good evening. This question is for Mr. Chatri. Christian Lee is now fighting in this 3rd division in 1. If he wins on Friday, would you like to see him carve a new path at welterweight or stay active in both divisions?
No, I'd like to, obviously, I mean, we wouldn't be given this opportunity to any fighter unless they were willing to defend in both divisions. But I think there's still some new folks in his division that he's got to conquer that are very, very dangerous. I mean, a give example is Sagid, Khabib's teammate. And Khabib has come out, even just a couple of days ago, he says Khabib said that Sagid is the greatest athlete on his team in that weight division. So Christian has hands full no matter what, right? I mean, let's see how he does against Aoki. But there's a lot of newcomers in his division that we've signed that are undefeated and they're killers. So I don't think, you know, we're growing very rapidly all over the world. Our roster is growing. We're upgrading everything we can, everything across the company, and definitely that's my job, is to continue to find the very, very best in the world to challenge our world champions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have time for one final question.
What's up, guys? Tom Taylor with South China Morning Post again. Quick question for Mr. Lasiri up there on the stage. You're fighting a very dangerous guy in a couple of days, a guy that a lot of people don't want to fight, and a bigger guy too. How have you been preparing, you know, just for the size difference and the potential strength difference in this one?
It's dangerous for you.
He's very dangerous for me.
Dangerous for you, for me, no. I'm sparring every day. I'm doing this for a lot of time. Like I said before, life is a challenge. This is the best challenge can I have. So I'm so excited for do that. And when you challenge yourself, you always win.
It's clear you believe in yourself. You're well prepared. Do you think it's possible that Rodtang is maybe underestimating you as the smaller guy coming up a weight class?
Okay. The day before the fight, I will knock the door of Rodtang. I will say to him, Rodtang, after the round 3, stay seat. Don't up. Stay seat in your stall.
That's very courteous of you. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we face these athletes off, let's take a closer look at the main event.
For a long time, the world underestimated Christian Lee.
When I first started my career, I couldn't have imagined that I would be where I am today.
People said he couldn't do it, said the kid won't last.
Growing up in a family of martial artists, that's what helped me get such an early start to my career.
The Lee family are truly representative of the martial arts world. And that's why it's brought Christian this level of success.
My goal was always to be the best in the world.
The most wins in one history. The most finishes in one history.
To be the world champion.
He is the best lightweight on the planet.
My next goal is to become a 2-division world champion.
The Warrior is moving up to take on his biggest challenge yet.
Как бы это любой, каждый боец хочет подняться или в весе выше, или спуститься, наоборот, завладеть вторым титулом. Это сейчас стало модно. Насчет Кристиана Ли, это его выбор. Он хочет подняться, испытать свою судьбу.
Abbasov has been terrorizing the welterweight division. He can put you out at a moment's notice.
То многие, наверное, начали позабывать о чемпионе полусреднего веса. Конечно, мне надо вернуться в свой дивизион и доказать, кто здесь король.
Each time I step into the circle, I treat every fight ahead of me as the biggest one. Not only will I be moving up in weight, but I'll be facing a very dangerous competitor.
Я ему во время боя подскажу на ушко, что оставайся в своем легком весе.
Going into this fight as the underdog, I see this as a complete war.
И, естественно, он будет жаловаться, наверное, своему папе или тренеру. Будет жаловаться. Please, stop fight, stop fight.
There's no place to go but up. Having the same success in the welterweight division as in the lightweight division.
Ни медиапространство, ни его семья, никто ему не поможет.
Becoming a double champ will be the biggest moment in my career.
Когда закрывается клетка, ожидать от меня возвращения чемпиона.
All right, let's welcome Chatri Sityodtong back up on the stage. Let's get ready to see some of the athletes that will be competing this Friday night at 1 on Prime Video 4. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the one atomweight submission grappler, Maria Molchunova. The 4-time Sambo world champion faces her toughest test to date as she takes on, please welcome, Danielle Kelly. The BJJ phenomenon comes back to the circle. We've got a classic Sambo versus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu battle ahead of us on Friday night. That's going to be a great contest in the atomweight submission grappling division. Up next, please welcome the number 5 ranked one bantamweight contender. Please put your hands together for the sniper, Stefan Lohman. Current record of 16-2, coming off 2 back-to-back finishes against 2 highly touted contestants in the bantamweight division, but he faces the former 1 bantamweight world champion. Please welcome the Flash, Bibiano Fernandez. The most dominant world champion in one history looks to climb his way back to the top. This is a top 5 bantamweight clash between 2 of the very best in the division. That's gonna be a fun fight, don't miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, but up next is the co-main event. Please welcome to the stage the current 1 strawweight Muay Thai world champion, Joseph Lasiri. Can Lasiri do it again? He's known for his come from behind underdog victories, but he faces his toughest challenge to date the reigning, defending, undisputed one flyweight Muay Thai champion. Please welcome the Iron Man, Rodtang Jitwongnon. World champion versus world champion super fight. Can Joseph Lasiri stop the undefeated Iron Man in a match that will go down in history? You do not want to miss this, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be guaranteed fireworks. Up next in the main event, another world champion versus world champion matchup. Please welcome most knockouts, most finishes, the current one lightweight world champion, the Warrior, Christian Lee. 16-4, going for his second strap. He's got to do it against quite possibly his toughest challenge to date. Please put your hands together for the reigning, defending, undisputed welterweight champion of the world, the two-time champ, Cameron Abbasov. Champion versus champion, it goes down live Friday night from the Singapore Indoor Stadium. World champion versus world champion. Oh, it's gonna be good, ladies and gentlemen. That's gonna do it for our press conference. You can join us Friday night at 1 on Prime Video 4. Abbasov versus Lee. That's your main event. It goes down live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on Prime Video. You can watch 1 on Prime Video 4 free in the U.S. and Canada with your Amazon subscription. For our fans everywhere else around the world, check your local listings for your global service provider. Or you can check out watch.onefc.com. I'm Mitch Chilson for One Championship. Thank you very much, and we will see you on Friday night.